Now, joining me is Andrew Pollack, who knows tragedy all too well. Of course, his daughter Meta was killed in the 2018 Parkland shooting. He's since spent his time advocating for our schools to be safer so that children don't have to be, vulnerable to these types of crazed killers. He's also the chief public safety officer of Byrna, a self-defense company. Andrew, you know what these parents are going through, and I know your heart is breaking for them tonight. Your reaction to what you've heard so far?
Laura, I'm so angry that I'm practically shaking right now at what happened, at what these parents have to deal with. And just thinking that my daughter was murdered, and we put a commission in Florida together to look into all the failures. And this district in Texas didn't learn anything of what happened with my daughter. How hard could it be to have a single point of entry and armed policemen or highly trained teachers at the school? Even the single point of entry would prevent it. And it just angers me. This didn't have to happen today.
Well, Andrew, we're learning more as time goes on about this suspected killer who himself was shot and killed by the authorities on the scene. But I remember the first time you came on this program after your own horrific experience with tragedy. And the fact that we are still having these conversations about just putting barriers in place to make it harder for someone to gain access to a school, whether it's an intercom or bulletproof glass or one security officer, it is quite stunning that that's still in many communities. Maybe it's budget, maybe it's a desire, I don't know, but they still don't have those safety mechanisms in place.
Oh, and what I advocate a lot is, because I get a lot of messages from parents, it's the parents. It's your responsibility where you send your children to school. You have to know now after these shootings, and every week there's a shooting, whether it's at a school or in a supermarket, that you need to check where your kids go to school. You need to go back to the school and see, is there a single point of entry? Do you have guards at the school? I got a message tonight, made me feel kind of good from someone. They told me thanks. They thanked me because they listened to me, and they took their kid out of public school and put him in a private school, because a lot of these private schools, they take security way more serious. So parents, it's your responsibility where you bring your children,
Andrew,
and you have to know.
Andrew is exactly right. And the politicians have rushed out tonight. And again, they're still accounting for missing children. And the politicians rushed out, including Kamala Harris. Watch.
As a nation, we have to have the courage to take action and understand the nexus between what makes for reasonable and sensible public policy to ensure something like this never happens again.
Andrew, your reaction to the almost instantaneous politicization of this issue, 8 years of Obama and Biden, I'm not sure what they accomplished, and now for a year and a half of a Democrat-dominated Congress and White House, 218 dead in Chicago so far through the month of April.
You know what kills me, Laura? We have $40 billion to send over to Ukraine to protect their borders, but we can't protect our children in our country. What are our children worth? How much money could that $40 billion? How far could that have went? How many policemen could we have paid with $40 billion to be at schools, or to put in the glass that we need, or the metal detectors in some areas, or bulletproof glass? What could we have done with that $40 billion? So when you hear politicians, whether either side they voted to send that $40 billion to Ukraine, and we could use it here in this country. Americans are suffering, and look what happened now at this school. It really angers me, because I don't want to hear that we don't have budget to protect our children. That's not right.
Andrew, you took the words out of my mouth tonight. I would say it's $54 billion total. And of course,
it's
all
ridiculous.
the people coming across our southern border who are also, that's going to be a huge cost to the country as well. We have money, but we're spending it in all the wrong places. Andrew, thank you for speaking out tonight, and thank you for your words of compassion and, frankly, your righteous anger and indignation well expressed. We appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.